What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with today's video, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close and we are now 234 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And who knows, maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the year, only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got, that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a Piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners over at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. But with that being said, if you guys want to see these boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because more than 70% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed. And to top it all off, we got to get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this. Do you guys believe that Konami fumbled with the 2024 Megatons? If so, why? If not, what makes you think that? Let me know down in the comments below. And speaking of Konami and the Yu-Gi-Oh tins, for all of you Sartorius fans out there, we actually have some brand new, get this, some brand new Arcana Force support that is in Supreme Darkness. And I'm gonna be honest, I never would have imagined, never in my wildest dreams would I ever imagine Sartorius getting new Arcana Force support, ever. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brand new cards in the set, and it is so crazy that they are doing this, because funny enough, the Arcana deck, in a way, it kind of, I think there was like a couple of tops back in the day. I think it was like oh my god, there was some sort of like burn stall strategy with Arcana Force 24 The World, I believe it's supposed to be called. And it's weird because Arcana Force, it wasn't that much of a meta defining archetype, but the concept was pretty cool. So for those who don't know anything about this archetype, basically their effects are based on a coin toss. So if the coin lands on heads, then that monster will do one thing. But if it's tails, it does something entirely different. So it could either be a good thing for you, for you or a bad thing for you, and vice versa to your opponent. It could be a good thing for them, or it could be a bad thing for them. And it's weird. It's weird because when you look at the deck itself, it seems good on paper, but without any like new support for the archetype. Ooh, excuse me. There really wasn't much to go on with any at all. So, but I'm actually pretty excited for this. So I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm just gonna get straight into it. Kicking these off, we got Arcana Force 5, the Hierophant. Which is a 4-star light fairy with 1500 attack and defense, and it has 2 separate effects. The first one reads you can discard this card. For the rest of this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when an Arcana Force monster is summoned to your field. Second effect reads, if this card is summoned, toss a coin. Toss a coin. Now this is exactly what I was talking about. Heads, special summon a level 4 or lower Arcana Force monster from your deck with a different name from the monster you control and in your grave. Tails, special summon 1 Arcana Force monster from your deck to your opponent's field. This is exactly what I was talking about. I think with this combo, I think if it lands on Tails, you get to summon Arcana Force the Fool to your opponent's side of the field, and it essentially just becomes a lock for your opponent, meaning that they can't do jack shit. In fact, I believe, let's see, Arcana Force the Fool. Here we are. Arcana Force 0 the Fool. Let's take a looky. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. This card cannot be changed to defense position except with a card effect. When this card is summoned, toss a coin and gain the appropriate effect. Heads, negate your card effects that target this card and destroy them. Tails, negate your opponent's card effects that target this card and destroy them. So I believe it was this. It was either this or something else. I think it's this. I think this is the card that you're gonna that you want to use for use off of Hierophant's effect. So that's actually that's pretty cool. Being able to just automatically, you know, summon the Fool to your opponent's side of the field, and essentially essentially it just becomes a lock, if you will, which is pretty cool. Next up we have Arcana Force 19, the Sun. Which actually looks pretty badass, I gotta admit. I gotta admit, the artwork looks fucking badass. But it is a 7-star light fairy with 2900 attack and defense. And the first effect is a once per turn that reads, if a card that has a coin tossing effect is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Second effect reads, says, if this card is summoned, toss a coin. Toss a coin. If it lands on heads, set 1 spell that has a coin tossing effect from your deck. If it's tails, destroy all cards in the spell trap zone. So this basically acts as like a harpy's feather duster, if you will, where I think it's both your back row and your opponent's back row get completely wiped out clean. So this is exactly what I was talking about. It can either become a good thing or it could be a bad thing for you, and this one, if it lands on tails, that's a bad thing. and again, and also too, if it lands on heads, you get to basically set any spell that has a coin tossing effect from your deck, which I think you can do second coin toss. Actually, I believe, yeah, I think second coin toss you can set that. You can set Cup of Ace. Um, you can even also set oh, what's the field spell for the Arcana deck? Was it Light Barrier? I think it's called. So that's pretty cool. So that's actually pretty cool. But next up we have Arcana Force Extra, the Chaos Ruler, which is a 10-star Light Fairy fusion with 3,300 attack and defense. And holy shit, this is crazy. That is crazy artwork, you guys. Crazy artwork. And it requires 3 Arcana Force monsters with different names. And it says that it must be special summoned from your action deck by sending the above cards from either field to the grave. So basically, you can use this as like you can use this card for contact fusion, which is pretty cool. So you don't really need polymerization all that much. Although you could theoretically use poly, but you're not really going to. Let's see here, and the effect reads, and it has 2 separate effects. The first one reads, if this card is special summon, toss a coin. If it lands on heads, special summon a level 10 Arcana Force monster from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning condition. If it lands on tails, add a card that has a coin tossing effect from your deck to your hand. Second effect reads, your opponent cannot activate monster effects on the field while Light Barrier is in the field zone. Holy shit, this card is basically a positive for you. So it really doesn't matter which one it lands on, whether it's heads or tails. Either way, you got pretty much you basically have yourself an extender with this card, which is pretty crazy. Funny enough, there's actually there's actually a supposed summon chant for Chaos Ruler, which says this: Destiny has reached a brand new stage, a brand new world. The Apostle of Destruction and Demise. I special summon Arcana Force Extra, the Chaos Ruler. Honestly, I could imagine this card being used in the fucking GX anime. I could totally see it. It would have been so cool if that were to be the case, but still, I think I think it's pretty interesting that we're getting new support for this archetype, given the fact that Arcana Force, I doubt it's ever going to see the light of day. But next up, we have the Wave of Light, which literally resembles the dual field, the dual stage, if you will, between Aster and Sartorius, and then of course Jaden and Sartorius from the anime. Literally, that's what it resembles, which is pretty cool. But it is a continuous spell, and the third effect is a once per turn. The first effect reads, during your standby phase, if you do not have Light Barrier in your field zone, toss a coin. And if the result is tails, this card's second and third effects are negated until your next standby phase. The second effect reads, fairy monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense. Third effect reads, you can discard 1 card, add 2 Arcana Force monsters with different names from each other from your deck to your hand, and you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for Arcana Force monsters. So, interestingly enough, this is a cool way to pretty much just add cards to your hand, and it's essentially a it's essentially a 1-for-2, which is pretty cool. And the only way that both the second and third effects of this card can be negated is if your opponent were to completely wipe out Light Barrier, and you had to toss a coin and it landed on tails. If it landed on heads, then both of these effects would remain in effect, which is pretty cool. Which is pretty cool. But now we have the last card of the video, and it's known as Arcana Spread. Which is a normal spell, and both of its effects are a hard ones per turn. And the first effect reads, toss a coin and apply this effect. If Light Barrier is in your field zone, you choose the effect instead. If it lands on heads, special summon a low 4 or lower Arcane Force monster from your deck. If it lands on tails, special summon a monster from your grave that has a coin tossing effect. Second effect reads, you can banish this card from your grave, add one card from your grave to your hand that has a coin tossing effect. So it's pretty cool. So it's pretty cool that this archetype, after so many years, is getting brand new support. And it's weird because now with this deck, cards like second coin toss, maybe Fairy Box. There's gonna be a few cards that a few old school cards that are gonna be implemented with this deck, but even that, I really don't see this deck skyrocketing to the status of the deck being broken, like on the same power level as Catch Tira, or perhaps like or perhaps like Yubel or something like that. I could see, in my opinion, I could see this being on the same power level as a deck like maybe Salad, or perhaps maybe Orcus is definitely another one. Maybe even Sky Striker. I would say on that power level, in my honest opinion. But I will say that it will be interesting to see if these cards will actually see meta play. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more card discussions in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.